ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभम गुर प्रसाद।
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। So we are back with our 6th episode in the dialogue series based on Professor Shahji's book Spiritual Transformation in Travel with Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And as you all know, we have just celebrated Guru Purab, and it has been such a beautiful experience to see the advent of Guru Nanak Dev Ji on his 552nd birthday. There has been a constant flow. Yes. It has been like everybody's giving. There is a spirit of generosity all around. We have got the opportunity to look at all the major religions. We have talked about Guru Nanak Dev Ji's visit to Jain centers, to Islamic centers, to Hindu centers, and today we are going to talk about his visit to the Buddhist centers.
But before we take it further, I would say that let's just because Nanak is yet coming in our minds all the time, and the beautiful virtues of Bhai Gurdas Ji. Nanak aaya, Nanak aaya, Nanak aaya, Nanak aaya. कल तारन गुरु नानक आया, कल तारन गुरु नानक आया, नानक आया, नानक आया. It's so magical to understand him.
So this is very special for me too, because I have read a lot about the Buddhist practice, and I really want to understand it better. So I would like you to elaborate, but before starting and read from your book, page 77, there is a chapter on practicing sadhana, resolve to surrender. So it starts like this, that there are two systems of sadhana, of spiritual practice. One system is to resolve, the second system is to surrender. Both lead to the same goal, but they are diagonally opposite to each other. So, Professor Shahji, could you please elaborate more on this? What is sadhana? What are the different types of sadhanas that people do for enlightenment?
It's so sensitive a question, and I would rather put it that in the words of Osho, he says, you can do your effort. It's like resolve. But once you do not adopt a guru and you start looking that I am doing some sort of an effort to resolve myself and get sort of a transformation, enlightenment, then the ego comes. And then I say I, me and mine. So that is why in sadhana, as we know, that it is like two systems. And from the old ages, civilizations and the Vedic culture, the Sanatan and the other characters of yogic way of understanding how to really do sadhana. One is to resolve and other is to surrender. So in resolve, it is practically like Mahavira. Then you say like Patanjali, then you say Gorakhnath. All these centers were practically where you detach yourself from your house, from your family. You practically change your clothes to Bhagwa Kapras. Everything was working as if, you are physically trying to detach yourself. And that was what is happening. That the human life energy is devoted to the effort, giving all kinds of punishment to your beautiful body. It's like torturing your body. And you are practically eating less, fasting. So putting less of clothes, less of everything, no shelter, denouncing your families and home. And that was what was happening to resolve. But ultimately, when Guru Nanak came, Kabir came, Farid came, Namdev came, Ravidas ji was there, they said that let us see how we resolve, not resolve, but how to surrender. They surrendered. And that surrender was practically like seeking, believing in oneness of God, and He is the Karta-Purakh. We say He is the doer, and we are the seekers. And once I surrendered totally to Him, and He is the Purkha, He is the doer, then what happens? Then I become no. I am not there. He is the doer. Let Him take His own way, and I need to have His blessing. So that is what Guru's philosophy was, to surrender. And once you surrender, then only we'll be able to practically transform ourselves and get ourselves enlightened. So this is what the sadhana of surrender predominantly became very important. Guru said that you need to do everything, but it is your karma yogi. Karma yogi is what we need to do, and do not expect any dividend. Dividend is in His grace, and He will give you the dividend. But when it was like a resolve, then the yogis were getting some empowerment, and they said, oh, I am becoming now powerful, I have this power, and I will curse somebody, I'll do that. And that ego became practically a stop to him, and could not reach to the attainment or the enlightenment.
So, talking about this enlightenment, so I have understood basically what is the difference between resolve and surrender. So, talking about Buddha's enlightenment, how did he get enlightened? He also did many sadhanas before he got enlightened.
See what happens when Buddha, he started traveling. He also did that sort of a travel as Guru Nanak did extensively, so much. But he also went to various places, and he saw people doing all those, resolving yourself and practicing into all kinds of, hunger, thirst, and denouncing this. And detaching from the worldly, families. And that also, when Buddha started it, he said, okay, whosoever you will, he started doing that. Then once he did it for practically for 6 years, he was onto these practically resolving sadhana. So then somebody met him. He said, you please be on fast and do not eat anything, and just take 1 gram of grain every day. So he practiced that for 6 months. He was absolutely thin. He went to the river, had the bath there. When he was bathing there in the river, he was so thin that he could not even maintain his body stable. So though it was not a very like a high tide sea, it was just a plain river, a shallow river on the side of the river, but the flow of water he couldn't resist, and he was going to fall into the river and could not really protect his body. Then with a very, very lot of problem, practically pushing himself from one tree to a branch of a tree, and he could save himself and practically came out and just sat on the river side. Then he thought, so that's more sensitive. He said, oh, I couldn't even resist my body and maintain it, retain it, protect it in the river. How will I retain myself in this Bhavsagar? The larger oceanic thought of the Almighty the universal energy. How will I enlighten when I cannot even protect my body? And that was what surrender. When he did surrender, he got enlightenment, that all the powers, energy can be contained and be obtained with surrender and not by resolve. That what was enlightenment of Buddha. Kabir says, only he who is prepared to burn his house must walk with me. The edifice you have created around yourself. मैंने एक अपना एक अलग घर बनाया बाहर का, अंदर का घर तो मुझे नजर नहीं आ रहा. That house of lies, anger, enmity, malice, jealousy and hatred. Now, he is the benefactor of all. Let me never forget him. Then Kabir said, जब हम होते तब तू ना है. You know, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. जब हम होते तब तू नाही, अब तू ही मैं नाही. अनिल अगम जैसे लहर में उदत जल केवल जल माई. माधवे क्या कहिए भ्रम ऐसा. This is the भ्रम. This is my myth. जैसा मानिए होए ना तैसा. You know, we live in absolutely an artificial worldly illusion. So that is what Kabir says, when I am in my own ego, then you are not with me. Oh God, you are not with me. Now that you are with me, there is no egoism within me. The wind may raise up huge waves in the vast ocean, but they are just water in water.
So then I also wanted to ask you about Guru Nanak Dev Ji's travels we have been touching. He went to Bodh Gaya also, isn't it?
Yes.
So over there, how did he have a dialogue with the people there? What was it that he taught in Bodh Gaya?
You know, Bodh Gaya, when Guru Nanak went, it's very, very interesting. The place of Buddhist transformation, enlightenment. And when Guru Nanak went, he saw the same system again, and Guru said, what are you doing? To the Pandas. Because the same place was again taken over by the Brahminhood, or you can say the religious leaders, to take people again into the myths. So he says, Diva Mera Ek Naam. Let the candle be his name. My Diva is his name, Dukh vich paya de. And the oil is the sorrowness and the sufferings. And that diya with the oil of sorrowness, all my sorrows will be finished. So that is what he says, that un chanan oe sikhiyan chuka jamsyon mel lokan mat ko fakkar paye lakh mandiyan kar ekde ek rati le bhave. Now this Guru says, the one name is my lamp, and I have put the oil of suffering into the diya. Its flame has dried up, this oil, and I have escaped my meeting with the messenger of death. Lot of things put together. जितना मर्जी, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि you have piles and piles and piles of money, fame, other things, you can pile it up. लेकिन इतना दिया जल जाए, a tiny flame can burn. Give all this effort surrounded to his wishes with the iota of the hope of salvation. So that is what he says. As soon as your ego is crushed, the things started happening, without being any effort, effortless. That is why in Japji Sahib, Guru says, Jiv Jiv Hukam, Tive Tiv Kar. It is only his hukam which is doing. You are not doing anything. It's an instrumental that Karam Khand ki Bani Jor, Titya Hor na koi hor, Titya Jod Mahabal Sur, Tinmo Ram Reha Barpur. So that is what he says. The process, once it comes in your thought, mind, intellect together, and that will make you in a process of, that is the rhythm of Gurbani. That is the rhythm of Guru Nanak. That is what I would say, that as the ego dropped, God appeared. Guru Nanak is so powerful. You can write books, but you cannot write Guru Nanak. True. Guru Nanak is phenomenally endless thought of, oceanic thought of universal energy, which you dig out more, you see more. Like Patalam Patal, Lakh Akasa Akas, Odak Bhaltake, Ved Gyanik Vad, Sach Atara, Kyan Kateba, Asruikada, Lekha, Nelik. You cannot describe him. So that is what, but that is why we say, जो चीज तक मैं पहुंच ही नहीं सकता तो मैं सरेंडर कर लूं. I cannot resolve. I cannot resolve means I cannot be parallel to the Almighty Lord. When I say, that's why you say this is a game of love. Jin prem kiyo, tin hi prabhu payo. And in prem, in love, there is no resolve. There is no condition. It's surrender. So let's have a love adoration with him without any cause and demand. So that is surrender.
Unconditional.
Unconditional. Asa का चौथा महला पहला 21 कार्ड सतगुरु प्रसाद. देवत्या दर्शन के ताई दुख भूख तीरथ किए जोगी जति जुगत पे रहते कर कर भगवे पेख हुए. तहु कारण साहिबा रंग रते तेरे नाम अनेका रूप अनंता कह न जाई तेरे गुण कीर्ति. So this is again Guru Nanak ji ने वहां जाके शब्द उचारा. He said, for the blissful darshan of the Lord, Devtya darshan, blissful darshan of the Lord, even the Devtas are suffering. And what are they doing? Physical and mental pains. Devtya darshan के ताई दुख भूख तीरथ किए. वो दुख भी ले रहे हैं, भूख को भी छोड़ रहे हैं और तीरथ भी जा रहे हैं. So this is how definition of physical, mental pain, suffering, hunger, and also visited the Tirath stans just to have glimpse of the God. Even the yogis and jatis, with their calibrated, disciplined lifestyle, wearing saffron robes and cloths, are imbued with love for Lord Master's blessing. You also have many names, O God, many forms, but no one can tell about your endless and countless virtues of bounties. So the bounties of the Guru cannot be counted. You may do all this effort. Again, Guru says, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He went to Bodh Gaya to express upon people that do surrender. Do not try to compare yourself with the Almighty Lord. And that is what the preachings of Guru Nanak has been.
Yeah, this is what is given in this chapter also, no? Where you talk about the true worship. What is the true worship? He explained, like you said, that Bodh Gaya, that he enlightened the people and asked them to worship one God who is the formless.
Yes.
So, after this profound dialogue, I think we again come back to the prime point that, I search for my Nanak and you search for your Nanak. But, it has been such a beautiful journey to to understand the different religions in light of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's teachings. So it comes, the question rises again for me, you know, that who is a true Sikh? So I think we'll end this episode here, and in the next episode we will go to this question: am I a Sikh? Who is a true Sikh? So we shall explore that in detail.
I would conclude with one statement. You need to become Babaiya of Guru Nanak.
Yes.
And that's why Amrit Vele is the time when you are pure soul and you are totally surrendered. So that's why Nanak says, Amrit Vele bolya Babaiya te dar suni pukar mege nu farman hua barko kirpa dar. There be a shower of blessings from Guru Nanak, and we are able to see my Nanak, you able to see your Nanak.
Yes.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.